Hello friends, welcome to Science Made Easy and our today's topic is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis process takes place in the cell organelle called chloroplast of the plants, and during we know about the chloroplast that it is a double membrane bound organelle which is present in the plant's cell or eukaryotic cells. Here, during the process of photosynthesis, carbon dioxide enters through the stomata and water is absorbed from the root hair, from the soil and is carried to the leaves through the xylem vessel. Now chlorophyll absorbs the light energy from sun to split water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. Here, the hydrogen from the water molecule and carbon dioxide absorbed from the air are used in the production of glucose, which is the main purpose of the process of photosynthesis, and the oxygen is liberated out in the atmosphere through the leaf as a waste product, or we can say as a byproduct. Here, glucose is a source of food for plants which provide energy for the growth and development, and while the rest is stored in the roots, leaves, and fruits for the later use. So, in total, what we understand about the photosynthesis, first thing that the process takes place in the cell organelle named chloroplast, and here the water molecule and light is very essential for the photosynthesis, and water molecule and carbon dioxide they are absorbed from the air, and there is a production of glucose, and oxygen is also being produced as a byproduct here, and the glucose is which is a source of the food for plants which provide energy for growth and development, and so that which is the main purpose, or the formation of glucose is the main purpose of photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis, it occurs in two stages. One stage is the light dependent phase, that it occurs only in the presence of the sunlight, and second one, that is the light independent reaction or the light independent phase. So in short, we call the first one, that is a light dependent reaction, as the light reaction, and the light independent reaction as the dark reaction. Dark reaction usually doesn't mean that it occurs during the dark or in the absence of light, but here the presence or absence of light doesn't make any changes, so it is also called as the dark reaction, right? Okay, so here in this particular diagram we can see the all process of the photosynthesis in a very concise diagram. Here we can see the sunlight, and the sunlight which is essential for the process of photosynthesis, and this particular structure which is marked by 3 as the chloroplast. This is a chloroplast which is a double membrane bound organelle which is present in the eukaryotic cells or plant cells, and here the first one indicates the granum or the grana of the thylakoid which is present inside the chloroplast, and here this matrix of the chloroplast is termed as the stroma, and so it depicts that the light reaction or the light dependent phase occurs in the grana while the light independent phase occur in the stroma of the chloroplast. So we'll understand these things later. So for this concise or for concising the process of photosynthesis, this particular diagram is very important. Now come to the next thing, that is the first phase, that is the light reaction of photosynthesis or the light dependent reaction or light reaction. Here, because photosynthesis begins with the light reaction which is carried out only during the day in the presence of sunlight, in plants the light dependent reaction takes place in the thylakoid membrane of the chloroplast. So it is well established that the process of light reaction occurs in the thylakoid membrane of the chloroplast. Now next, the grana or the membrane bound sac-like structure which is present inside the thylakoid, they function as they function for by gathering the light and are called the photosystem. They are called photosystem because they gather the light for the formation or for the process of light reaction. These photosystems have large complexes of pigment and protein molecule present within the plant cell, and they play important role during the process of light reaction. Now, there are two types of photosystem. One is the photosystem 1 and second is the photosystem 2. Because the light dependent reaction, it occurs in or during the presence of sunlight, and here the light energy is converted into ATP molecule and the NADPH molecule, which are used in the second phase of the photosynthesis. So this particular chemical equation shows the light reaction of photosynthesis, where we can see that two molecules of hydrogen or molecule of hydrogen are being converted into the oxygen to NADPH and the ATP molecule. So this is the sum total of the light reaction or the chemical reaction showing the light reaction of the photosynthesis. Now comes the dark reaction or the light independent reaction. Because first thing that we have learned from the diagram itself, that the dark reaction take place in the stroma. Dark reaction occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. First thing, the dark reaction is also called as the carbon fixing reaction, and here the sugar molecules are being formed from water and carbon dioxide molecules. Okay. So where they utilize the NADPH and the ATP molecule products of the light reaction for further processing. Here plant capture the carbon dioxide from atmosphere through stomata and proceed to the Calvin cycle or Calvin photosynthesis cycle. In Calvin cycle, the ATP and NADPH molecule, which are being formed during the light reaction, they drive the reaction and convert the molecule of 6 molecule of carbon dioxide into one sugar molecule or one glucose molecule. So this is the chemical reaction for the dark reaction. Here we can see the carbon dioxide molecule are being converted into the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, which again two molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate gives rise to one molecule of glucose. So because here we took 3 molecule of CO2, so in total we need 6 molecule of CO2 to form one molecule of glucose. And here we use the NADPH and the ATP molecule for the process of Calvin cycle. So in this particular diagram, we'll understand some key points about the Calvin cycle. First thing that can be understood very easily. First thing that is the Calvin cycle have three steps. First step is the carbon fixation. Second step is the reduction, and third step is the regeneration. First thing, carbon fixation. Here the 3 molecule of CO2 and 3 molecules of the Ribisco 1,5-bis phosphate, which is a 5 carbon compound, and they get united and form 6 molecule of 3-phosphoglycerate. 6 molecule of 3-phosphoglycerate, which is a 3 molecule 3 carbon molecule, right? So this process is known as the carbon fixation. Now this 6 molecule of 3-phosphoglycerate enters into the next step, that is known as the reduction, and here 6 ATP molecule and 6 NADPH molecule are being used and leads to the formation of 6 molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Now 6 molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate are being formed, and out of these 6, one molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate again exit the cycle or exit the Calvin cycle to form the glucose molecule, right? Now the third step, that is the regeneration, or specifically if we say it is the regeneration of the Ribisco 1,5-bisphosphate, and here as we can see the remaining 5 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate are being converted into the 3 molecule of Ribisco 1,5-bisphosphate, which is the starting material, by the use of 3 ATP molecule. So this particular diagram, which has been splitted into the 3 different steps of the Calvin cycle, namely the carbon fixation, reduction, and third one, that is the regeneration, giving this whole picture. In this diagram, we can see first thing that this is the same reaction that we have understood in the last diagram, but for better understanding, again, we'll discuss it here. That is one thing, that is the 3 molecules of Ribisco 1,5-bisphosphate. This is the chemical formula of Ribisco 1,5-bisphosphate. We can see the phosphate is linked, or phosphate is attached to the Ribisco molecule in the first and the fifth carbon position, and so that it is called Ribisco 1,5-bisphosphate. And again the 3 molecule of CO2 are being converted into the 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate by the action of enzyme Ribisco, that is Ribisco 1,5-bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase, right? So this is the first step, that is the carbon fixation step. here we can see the three carbon compound, the conversion of the five molecule and one molecule, they are equally like 3 molecule of Rubisco. It means 3 into 5, that is 15 carbon here, and 3 into 1, that is 3 carbon here. So 15 plus 3, 18 carbon. And here we can see the 6 molecule of 3 phosphoglycerate. It is a 3 molecule, 3 carbon compound. So 3 into 6, that is the 18 again. So now this step is termed as the carbon fixation. Now these 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate again gets converted into the 6 molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate by the action or by the addition of 6 ATP molecule and 6 NADPH molecule. This particular step is termed as the reduction of 3-phosphoglycerate. 3-phosphoglycerate on reduction gives rise to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Now 6 molecules out of these 6, one molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate again exit the cycle of the Calvin cycle and gives rise to and exits for the formation of the glucose molecule, right? And the remaining 5 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate again regenerate into the 3 molecules of Rubisco 1,5-bis phosphate, and this cycle carries on like this by the addition of 3 ATP molecules. This third step is termed as the regeneration of the Rubisco 1,5-bis phosphate. So here in this way, the formation of the glucose molecule take place by the carbon dioxide molecule, right? Now, what is the product of the C3 cycle or the Calvin cycle? First thing, one molecule of carbon is fixed at each turn of the Calvin cycle, we can see, and one molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is created in three turns of the Calvin cycle. Here we have took 3 molecule of CO2 combinedly, right? So to understand the process well, and two molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate combine together to form one glucose molecule, because this is a 3 carbon compound and glucose is a 6 carbon compound. So two molecules would be needed. Now in total 18 ATP and 12 NADPH molecule are consumed in the production of one glucose molecule. Here we saw that there is a formation of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate which exit the cycle for the formation of glucose, and that took around 9 ATP and 6 NADPH. So because two glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules would combine to form one glucose, so the value of the used ATP would double itself. So 9 twos are 18 ATP and 6 twos are 12 ATPs. NADPH are being consumed in the production of the glucose molecule. Now comes the importance of the photosynthesis. Now, because we know the photosynthesis, it is a process, it is a very key process which is being used by the plant, and it is essential for the life of for the existence of all life on the earth, and it serves a crucial role in the food chain as plants create their food using this process and thereby forming the primary producers. Now, photosynthesis, it is also responsible for the production of oxygen, which is needed by most organisms for the survival, including human, as we use oxygen for or during the process of respiration. Okay, so this was all about the photosynthesis and the light reaction and the dark reaction of photosynthesis. And I hope this would be helpful to you. And thank you so much for watching. If you like our video, please like and share and subscribe our channel for more such videos. Thank you.